Alright, cool. And we are live. Actually, this actually looks...
What?
Fix it.
Man, this actually looks... Hello, guys. Good evening. Happy Saturday.
No, that's bad.
This is like something we're still working on. There you go. All right.
No, it's not. Oh. There you go. No, that looks like garbage. What do you think?
No. Right there. Right there. I think that's good right there.
Alright. What's up, you guys? Welcome to our live review. We are going to be talking about She-Hulk, Attorney of Law, which is going to be the 7th episode. So, if I'm correct, we are down to one more episode left, and we should finish wrapping up season 1. So, this episode is called The Retreat. And I gotta say, this episode is actually a lot better than the last disaster episode.
The last disaster that actually rhymes, too.
That was just complete. The last one was just complete, total garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And this one actually made a little bit more sense. I mean, it still didn't really have any action whatsoever, but it was more of a seeing Jen accepting Jennifer and accepting She-Hulk, and knowing that even though She-Hulk gets a lot of attention, she needs to understand that Jen is also an individual, that she needs to self-care for herself instead of just thinking that it's all about She-Hulk. And we met a couple of other characters: Mambo, El Águila, Porcupine, Sarkin, or the vampire, and I don't know who the other one was. Sarsen, and there was one more, the one with the...
El Águila, Porcupine. There's only 4 of them. And then there's a Ricker from the Wrecking Crew.
Yes. So, it was basically a retreat. She went out to go... All she did was... Her thing was at the beginning to go make sure that Abomination would not tear up the
Break his
parole.
parole.
Yeah, basically tear up the parole officer, because he could tear him up in half if he really wanted to. But that guy was scared shitless, so he just decided to have her go and join him so he can go and check it out, make sure everything's all good. I want to find out he has like a little retreat spot where people go and they deal with their issues, with their personal issues, kind of like an AA in a way. And some of these characters, like, they was fun. Like, some of these characters, like Mambo, was pretty funny. Some of the jokes that he actually threw actually landed. There were actually some parts that made me actually laugh. Not like last episode when they really tried so hard and I just couldn't giggle. It was just terrible. But this one was actually pretty cool. It definitely kept me distracted throughout the whole episode, and the delivery of, like, what they were saying was actually on point. What do you think on this episode?
What's up, guys? I'm Aubrey, by the way. This is Efren. Okay, so here's the thing. I did not mind this episode so much. This is, it wasn't that bad. At first, I wasn't sure if it was going to be like another filler episode that had nothing to do with the arc of the story, especially with Jen. But it seems like we're getting a little bit more understanding with this episode alone. And they kind of did point some fun on the last episode, because the last episode was all about Jen trying to, show off and show. It's just like a lot of insecurities with Jen. And the fact that now we're finding out more that Jen needs to, find her inner self, and she doesn't always have to be She-Hulk to impress people. Mm-hmm. It's still better than the last one, but that's not saying much. But what I do like about this is now we're progressing with the story. We're progressing with the story, and now we're finding more about the Intelligentsia site. And I like that. I like the fact that now we're actually going like directly to the story, because we're like one episode away now, and it's like, where is this show going? The last episode didn't really do much for us as far as like, okay, what's the arc on this? Like, what's going on with She-Hulk?
Yeah,
right? So I actually like this. And I like the fact that we actually get some sea level characters in here as well. Such just like with the one you mentioned was like Manbull and Allegra, Porcupine, and all that. Because I actually looked them up. These are actually Marvel characters.
Oh wow.
They're Marvel characters, but they're very, very minute, very small characters that nobody. They've probably like had a run a few times. Like there's Porcupine right there, right? But they're not popular characters. I mean, you'll probably see them in a few.
Those were like the
Like
little
they'll
small
come
ones.
out like in a few comic books here and there, but they're just like sea level characters. Just like how Batman has like a lot of sea level characters.
Yeah, yeah, Electro. There was Electro who never it came out in the Adventures of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Electro, the one who came from the moon.
You
It was
mean
Electro.
Electrocutioner?
No, it was Electro. Well, basically, that's what it showed on there. Electro.
I thought Electro was a Spider-Man character.
Mm.
I know there's a.
Came out in the
I know there's
Adventures of Batman. There was Electro,
okay.
which was one of the.
I mean, there's a
Bruce
lot of
Wayne's
characters.
friends.
There's like False Face that we never see much of
Mm-hmm.
in the Batman series. Another character I know is Calendar Man. There's Condiment Man. You don't see characters like that, but I find out that they're trying to get these characters from the gallery, the Marvel gallery, and just like, okay, you know what? I know we can't put him in a cinematic film. Let's put him in the series and just poke fun of him because these are characters that you like to make fun of because they're such like sea level characters with lame powers, and we have some of those characters too in the comic books. So I like that they actually brought some of these characters in because
They brought 'em back to life.
I know for sure that you won't find these characters in a cinematic film because they're not popular. Nobody's gonna care about them. Nobody knows them. But and I didn't even know these guys. I didn't know any of these characters. I had to look them up. Like I didn't know who Manbull was. I didn't know who Porcupine was. I didn't know who the Vampire Sarsken or Allegra. I didn't know who all those guys were. But I'm glad they actually brought these characters in.
Yeah.
So they poke fun at it, and of course, what's his name? Wrecker does come back because we were trying to figure out like what happened to the Wrecking Crew. I wanted to see more of the Wrecking Crew still. I want to know like what's going on, if they're gonna get powers or are they just gonna continue with just using Asgardian powers. But yeah, this is still okay. This is still fine. I mean,
I give it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 this time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still okay. It still needs more structure. I'm just glad we're actually finally progressing as opposed to just a filler episode.
I even called it out. Josh was gonna be a traitor right off the bat because I was like, it's all too nice. Like he's going in little by little, saying the right things just so he can be with her and sleep with her, and all that was just to steal information. So he was like a spy, basically.
He's
in a
basically a
sense.
spy because he did get some information from her phone, and also he texted the Hulk King.
The Hulk King. Who is the Hulk King?
So it's kind of like if you put the words together, it's like hulking out. But I don't know. Is it Maestro? No. Can it be? Because the only Hulk King I know is Maestro, and he was like a different universe Hulk. We are what do you call this? Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness is reaching into the whole multiverse. Like Marvel and Disney is trying to get more into like the multiverse stuff. So, is there a possibility he might get a Maestro at the end? Is he the king? Is he the one who's
Behind the whole thing.
involved with all these going on? I don't know. But that's a big character to put in this type of series. Especially this type of series. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's Maestro, but he said Hulk King, and all I know is that, the intelligentsia is trying to get rid of her, or trying to get blood samples, or trying to put something in her, so.
I wonder what the whole end goal is for them to do that. Like, are they just trying to steal her DNA, or are they trying to find a way to kill her? Or are they just trying to take the powers so that way they can multiply that and make like an army of different Hulks?
I have no idea.
What is the purpose? That's what we're gonna be finding out.
I still don't know. And by the way, guys, just quick updates of the of what's going on with as far as like the chain reaction. 25% done on that. And also I'll be like posting some cosplay video, which is the Comic Con from like 2021 all the way to 2022. Again, we are going to Comic Con, LA Comic Con this year. Me and Neil, we've already bought our tickets. I don't know if Efren's going to be going with us because he hasn't bought his tickets yet. But Efren, he likes to do things last minute. And I will be cosplaying, me and Neil will be cosplaying as RPD, Raccoon Police Department. from Resident Evil. So if you guys are going to be in Comic Con this LA convention this year in December, and if you see us, hey, just say what's up. If you are in the LA character, if you
The
are
LA character.
if you're in the LA location, then yeah, definitely come by. So that's the updates on that. What you think about the Deadpool teaser?
That was actually
Deadpool came out, man.
Deadpool. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds in all his glory, man.
Yeah.
Deadpool. We're gonna get a Deadpool. We're finally gonna get a
Yes.
Deadpool 3.
2024 is gonna come out, so definitely look out for that. Then all he did was just basically.
It's not a
talk
teaser,
about,
though. It's
I
not
know
a
it's not a
teaser.
teaser. It's
It's not
just
even a
him
trailer.
talking about like how he to be able to create the Deadpool, he needs to basically physically and just mentally like create it all in his mind. And at the end he goes, "And I have nothing." He goes at the end.
But he was trolling.
Yeah, I know he's trolling.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to see that.
This is like this is their marketing.
But it's a good way for them to bring in basically Logan and Wolverine and finally say, like, this is what's going to happen. Wolverine and Deadpool. What's going to happen? Supposedly they're saying that this is going to be like a crazy good film. A lot of people are talking about saying, like, dude, this is possibly going to be one of the best films so far. So we'll see what happens. It is going to be rated R, so it's definitely not going to be Disney friendly, which is good because you're not going to take out his character.
Well, my take on this, as far as like what's going on with this whole Deadpool Wolverine thing is, they're bringing Hugh Jackman back, and Hugh Jackman said switch back, and Hugh Jackman said that he was going to play the Wolverine one last time. Like he wasn't gonna play the Wolverine again. After that was it. He was gonna get rid of his cowl and that's it, and have somebody else play Wolverine. But I guess Ryan Reynolds was able to, talk to Hugh Jackman and get him back to reprise his role as a Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big thing because the problem with Deadpool is that it takes like 6 years for us to get a sequel. It takes 6 years for us to get a sequel. So I'm glad they're finally doing this. I don't know how they're going to incorporate this with the MCU because, again, Disney's still working on their R ratings and, and the whole fourth wall breaking, because we know She-Hulk's already doing the fourth wall breaking in this series. So maybe they're trying to incorporate that and try to use that as like a leeway to, Deadpool doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So maybe Deadpool is gonna be doing some fourth wall breaking as well, while he's like fighting with the Avengers or fighting with some of the characters. I don't know, or teaming up. I don't know. He might be doing something like, yeah, that's what I said, right, guys? And he'd be talking to the audience, talking to us, and then Nick Fury and them are gonna be like, "Who the heck are you talking to?"
Yeah, shit, that would be
like,
cool.
who you talking
Cool.
about? The audience. You don't seem like we don't see anybody.
What are you talking about?
They're gonna look
Stay
at him
focused.
like they're gonna look at him like he's crazy or something. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, you don't see them. They're watching us right now.
Yeah.
Ever since X-Men. It's like, what's the X-Men?
What's the X-Men? What is that?
So I like the announcement. I think that everyone went ballistic when Hugh Jackman came out. Just walked by, but at the same time, I'm like, is that really Hugh Jackman, or is that just like a stand-in? Who sounds like Hugh Jackman because we couldn't see his face. And then he did another announcement and go, "Hey, it's me and Hugh Jackman. Guess what? We're not trolling you. This is actually happening. We're actually making this film." And Hugh Jackman's like, "Yeah, of course. I'm finally gonna do this film with him. Yeah." So that's his Australian accent. So yeah, man. Dude. I mean, there's a possibility you might even get a Hulk in there. I don't know. I still want to see a Hulk versus Wolverine because even in the comic books, Hulk is like one of the few characters that can kill the Hulk because his adamantium can cut through the Hulk.
That's true.
Took you a while to.
I was like, wait. No, it is true.
Efren's got a lot of things in his mind right now, and I think I know what it is. Stop overthinking, man. Stick with this review. Yes. So that's that. Yeah. That's Deadpool, the Deadpool announcement, and I'm really, really glad that this is happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, too bad it's gonna come out in 2024, but I'm sure they're gonna put a lot into it here.
So your YouTube, like,
I don't know why what happened here, but it logged me out of the accounts.
Log out. Okay, that's fine. So we get a comment from Imperi, Saul Goodman.
Over Jen.
Yeah. Yeah, because Saul Goodman's a better lawyer than Jen. Yeah, thank you for that comment. That's true, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Jen, again, this show is. I'll say this episode was okay. I'm glad that we do get some sea-level characters from the Marvel Gallery, but at the same time, look. The problem I have with the show is the pacing. Okay, the pacing of the arc and of this story. There's so many fillers in this show that it takes like the last two episodes for us to finally progress and finally find out who the main big bad villain is. Yeah. I mean, that's my issue with the show, and we're just putting all these fillers that has nothing to do with it, and it's just convoluted and all that stuff.
To me, this whole freaking show is like a filler, just to kind of like
it's
throw in the new stuff, because there was literally only been like one episode that was decent. Well, the rest has just been not the best of shows, but yet we're still doing it just so we can complete it and say that we did it. But yeah, man, there's been a lot of backlash on this show from a lot of different YouTube from content creators, and also from the fans, from a lot of people that are watching. They're like, dude, like, this is garbage, and if you're rating it like good, then you're a sellout. Like, there's a lot of
backlash with the show. And I've noticed that I've been watching some of the reactors. Those YouTube creators that are doing the same thing that we're doing. They're previewing they're making a video about what they think about the show, and they're getting backlash as well.
Yeah.
So it sucks that we can't like freely talk about something and say we don't like something without being called out.
Exactly.
But I just think this show, all in all, I just think this show is more like a filler show. It needs more strength, but I feel like it's not the end of She-Hulk, though, because we have a She-Hulk now, right? Mm-hmm. So I think what's going on, especially with Marvel, there's all this talks about Phase 4 being like the weakest phase, Marvel phase of all the other phases, because, again, you can't compare anything. It's hard to compare anything to Endgame. Endgame was such a big movie, and then you got the Spider-Man, that's also Phase 4. You got the Spider-Man Far From Home, and the Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange, and we're doing like multiverses and all that stuff. But when you're trying to when you're trying to take your audience from the cinematic, from the theaters to the smaller screen, that's when things get that's when you put a lot of pressure with Marvel.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to all the glamour and all the special effects and all the big stories that when they start watching the smaller things, like the series that's about like 7 to 8 episodes, and you got 8 episodes and five of the episodes have nothing to do with the story arc, then you're going to get a lot of complaints from the viewers. You're going to get a lot of backlash. Be like, okay, look, I spent 8 hours just watching this, and it has nothing to do with anything. That's the issue with this. So, but other than that, the show is okay. It was alright. We have porcupines identifying, or people are identifying as porcupines, so I know where they're going with that.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. The retreat was pretty cool. The people, they were funny. Some of them, I just felt like it could have had a little bit more, from these side characters, and give them a little bit more.
Well, they're sea-level characters. They're sea-level characters. So, I get what they're trying to do. Marvel's trying to, like, okay, let's get more characters in here because, we don't have to put them in a big film. Let's just put them in there for this one episode, just for like fan service. But see, like the general audience doesn't even know who these characters are, so they're not gonna relate to any of them.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it.
Yeah, She-Hulk is
it's okay. Look, I'm not gonna bash it too much. It's not great. I think maybe if they do gather enough money to make a season 2, if there is going to be a season 2, I'm sure they'll probably hire a better writer, a better director to direct the episodes, or even a better writer, because even the writer for this show, she's the same writer who wrote Rick and Morty, and she also wrote Kung Fu Panda, and those are 2 successful animated film and animated series. So you can see how diversified her talent is.
Yeah.
You know, from going to an animated kids film that's successful, which is Kung Fu Panda, because that's a very successful, popular kids film, animation kids film, and then, you know, converted to like Rick and Morty, which is an adult series. And then you have She-Hulk, and it's like, what happened there? Like, you were doing so well, and then and now you're focusing, when you do She-Hulk, it's like, dude, what happened to your creativity, or what happened to your creative, freedom in here?
Yeah. So, I mean, I really don't have much to say about this show.
Well, I know why you don't have much to say in this show, but other than that, that's pretty much it with this show. We have one more episode, right?
Yeah, one more episode before we wrap this up, and I'm really excited because we are going to be doing Andor, so stick around for that, because we're going to be doing a reaction video, then we're going to hop on a live review, which will possibly be in the next hour, about an hour 20 minutes.
Yeah. What you think about the Last of Us though?
Oh, The Last of Us. Now that the HBO show,
Pedro Pascal is killing it,
man,
with The Last of Us.
That's gonna be insane,
dude. And you know, if it's HBO Max, that's R rated.
It has everything.
HBO Max will spend money.
They have everything on
the visual effects good, and you know, we already we did a reaction on this. We talked about like the director and the writer and who's producing it, of course. But yeah, Joel, you got Joel and Ellie, who's played by 2 actors from Game of Thrones. Yeah. So it's great to see that.
Yeah, and Carly Strauss, the executive producer, also helped with Game of Thrones as well. So that's already that Sex and the City, and she also helped with The Sopranos. So you guys know those were great series and films.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy because you have Pedro Pascal, and he was Oberyn Martell. I forgot what his name was in Game of Thrones. And then you got Belle Ramsey, who played, what was her name? I think she played like a noble girl. But they never met in Game of Thrones. Like they never crossed paths in series because they killed off Pedro Pascal's character.
And then now they're in
away.
This series.
And now they're in this series together. But they both died, obviously, because everyone dies in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I'd love to do House of Dragons, but did you catch up?
The House of... Oh, yeah. I finished the 4th episode, so I'm on the 5th.
Yeah.
Most
so
recent.
We might... I don't know. How many episodes does House of Dragons have?
10, they say.
10?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So...
This will be good. And we have a comment here from Osvaldo Santos. Shout outs to my guy. Good work. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. That is my brother.
Yeah.
So he's watching. Thanks for your support, bro. Appreciate that.
It's like, hurry up and come out here already. No,
come out here already. They're all outside in the living room.
They're probably outside already. Yeah.
But, all right, man. This is going to basically wrap up She-Hulk, 7th episode. We are one more episode away from wrapping the whole season up. So let's see if they make the last episode a great episode or if they're going to shut the bed on it.
All I know is that Matt Murdock's not showing up.
I know. I already gave up on it. He's
I
going
told you.
He's going to show up, but
if you guys ever watch,
he's going to show up.
I'll tell you this right now.
He has to.
If you guys ever watch like some of our previous live reviews on the She-Hulk,
come out.
If you guys see that, I said it from the beginning that Matt Murdock is not going to show up. Maybe at the end. I called it too.
Yeah, he's going to be at the end because he's supposed to come out in one episode.
I called it.
He's supposed to come out in one episode.
They're going to name drop him. They're going to throw in his cowl.
No, he's going to come out because it shows Matt Murdock coming out in one episode. You know
what Matt Murdock's going to do? He's going to come out on the TV. He's going to come out on the TV. But he's not going to show up physically.
Possibly, yeah.
Jen's gonna watch like some sort of TV about this one blind lawyer, and he's gonna make his statement, but it's gonna be in television. That's how he shows up. But he's not gonna show up in the show like physically. He's not gonna be interacting with
And that's
Jen
good.
She-Hulk.
He doesn't deserve to be in this.
I told you he's not going to show up because the reason why I know is because they don't want to tarnish Daredevil's character, putting him in this show.
Yes,
that's why they got rid of all the.
MCU.
That's why Hulk only showed up in 2 episodes, and that's why Wong showed up in maybe 2 episodes, and then Blonsky probably showed up. Like they limited the appearances of some of the MCU characters.
Yeah.
Because they don't want them to get a bad rep because of how bad the show is. I mean, obviously, it's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, some people like it. I understand it. To each his own. But this is my personal thought of this.
Yeah.
I just really think this is a badly written show.
Definitely is. It needs a lot of work and attention to it. If they were to want to continue it in the future.
I think it's more like a filler show than anything else.
Yeah, it's just the one series. I think that's going to be.
I have a feeling. Look, as much as how I feel about the show, I have a feeling that they're gonna work on the season 2.
And it might redeem itself.
I think they're gonna work on the season 2 to redeem itself, but they're gonna hire a different writer. I have a feeling they're gonna because She-Hulk is a great character and she's got a lot of potential. As a character development, as they're developing her character, she's a great character in the comic books. But I think they're going to do a season 2, but they're going to redeem it by whatever is going on here. But I think they are going to be working on season 2, but with different writing, different direction.
Gotcha.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Well, this is going to wrap it up, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch us on the next one. Let us know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much to Jason Beltran and to Invincible for supporting us on Patreon. So if you guys haven't had a chance, make sure to click on the link and become a Patreon member today. My name is Efren. You can find me at Efren Santos on IG, and they can find you.
Aubrey Freely _81.
Yes. And let us know what your thoughts are on this episode. Let us know what you guys think about Blonsky, his whole character on this episode. So, thank you so much, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace, guys.
Peace.